After the chaotic, experimental energy of America's Next Model Cycle 1, Tyra Banks returned with something sharper in mind. This time, it was not just about discovering a model, it was about testing people, pushing them, breaking them, watching what happened when ambition, insecurity, and ego were locked inside one house with no escape and no control over the narrative. And the moment the Cycle 2 contestants walked in, you could feel it. This group was different, less naive, more aware, more guarded, but also more dangerous. There was Yoanna, who carried herself with a quiet authority that felt almost unnatural in such a chaotic environment. She did not need to speak loudly. She did not need attention. It came to her anyway. Then there was Camille, who did not just walk into the house, she claimed it. Her confidence was not subtle. It was not negotiable. It was a statement, repeated over and over again like a mantra. I am a strong model. At first, some of the girls admired it. Others tolerated it. But in a house like this, repetition does not build respect. It builds tension. Around them were contestants still trying to find their footing. April with her perfectionist tendencies, Mercedes with her natural warmth, Shandi quietly observing everything from the sidelines, still not quite believing she belonged there. And that is where the real story started. Because in this house, identity was not stable. It shifted, it cracked, and the more time they spent together, the more those cracks began to show. At first, the conflict around Camille did not look like conflict. It looked like discomfort. Small pauses in conversation, side glances exchanged across the room, moments where laughter did not quite feel genuine. Camille was not doing anything technically wrong, but she also was not adapting. She spoke about herself with certainty, unwavering, constant, almost rehearsed. And in a normal environment, that might have been confidence. In this house, it became something else, a trigger. Yoanna was the first to truly push back, not loudly, not emotionally, but strategically. She questioned Camille in a way that forced everyone else to start questioning her too. And once that door opened, it did not close. The house began to shift. Conversations about Camille started happening without Camille. Opinions solidified, narratives formed. She is fake, she is calculated, she is too much. Whether those things were true did not even matter anymore, because in reality TV, perception becomes reality faster than facts ever can. When the confrontations finally happened, they did not feel sudden. They felt overdue. Voices rose, defenses hardened, and Camille, instead of softening, doubled down, which only made everything worse. It was not just a disagreement anymore. It was isolation happening in real time. Cycle 2's photo shoots did not just challenge skill. They exposed vulnerability. The nude shoot in particular became a turning point, not because of what was shown, but because of what it revealed. Standing in front of a camera without the usual layers, clothing, persona, control, forced the contestants into a kind of honesty they were not prepared for. Some tried to intellectualize it, called it art, called it fashion, but the hesitation was visible. In the way shoulders tensed, in the way eyes avoided the lens for just a second too long, in the way confidence had to be performed instead of felt. For Shandi, it was overwhelming. For April, it became another test she felt she had to perfect. For others, it triggered something deeper, questions about boundaries, identity, control. And then came the makeovers. If the nude shoot stripped them physically, the makeovers stripped them psychologically. Hair, something so tied to identity, fell away in clumps on salon floors. Mirrors reflected strangers. Some contestants smiled through it, convincing themselves it was growth. Others couldn't hide their reactions. Tears came quickly, and in that moment it became clear. This competition wasn't about becoming a model. It was about becoming someone else, whether you were ready or not. By the time the contestants arrived in Italy, the pressure had already been building for weeks. But distance changes things. Being far from home, from normalcy, from consequences, it creates space. And sometimes, that space is dangerous. Shandi had spent most of the competition as the quiet observer, underestimated, overlooked, almost invisible in the chaos of bigger personalities. But Italy changed her. The attention she received there felt new, exciting, validating. And slowly that validation turned into something more, a connection, a moment, a decision. And with cameras capturing everything, she crossed a line that couldn't be undone. The aftermath wasn't edited into something dramatic. It was just raw. The phone call with her boyfriend felt like something the audience wasn't supposed to hear, the kind of private pain that reality TV rarely shows without softening it. Her voice broke, her composure disappeared, and what remained was someone fully confronting the consequences of a choice she couldn't take back. The house felt it too. Even the ongoing rivalries faded into the background. For a moment, the show stopped being a game and became something uncomfortably real. As the number of contestants shrank, the emotional weight didn't lessen. It intensified. April, once composed and controlled, began unraveling under the pressure she had placed on herself. Every critique wasn't just feedback. It was failure. Mercedes continued to radiate warmth, but behind that was endurance, quiet strength, the ability to keep going even when things weren't easy. And Yoanna, she transformed. Not dramatically, not visibly at first, but internally. Something sharpened. She became more precise, more intentional, less reactive. While others were overwhelmed by the experience, she seemed to understand how to move through it, not by avoiding emotion, but by controlling it. Camille's eventual elimination marked a shift that everyone could feel. The tension she brought disappeared instantly, but so did something else. Energy. Because conflict, as exhausting as it is, also fuels a space. Without it, the house felt different. Calmer, but also hollow. The final stage took place in Milan, a city synonymous with fashion, but also with impossibly high standards. Here, effort did not matter, only results. Yoanna and Mercedes entered the finale as two completely different interpretations of what a model could be. Mercedes brought warmth, approachability, light. Yoanna brought structure, precision, control. And then came the helmet shoot, a moment that did not just define the competition, it elevated it. Yoanna's transformation in that image was almost unsettling. Stripped of softness, reduced to shape, light, and expression, she became something editorial, something distant, something undeniable. It was not just a good photo, it was a statement. Mercedes held her ground, delivered consistently, remained authentic. But the narrative had already started shifting, not loudly, but unmistakably. And when Tyra Banks finally announced the winner, it did not feel like a surprise. It felt like the conclusion of something that had been building all along. Yoanna. Cycle 2 didn't just build on Cycle 1, it redefined it. The drama wasn't louder, it was deeper. Conflicts weren't just arguments, they were reflections of personality, insecurity, and perception. Moments weren't just entertaining, they were uncomfortable, lingering, difficult to watch, but impossible to ignore. It blurred the line between television and reality in a way that felt new at the time. Maybe that is why it stayed with people. Not because it was the most chaotic, but because it was the first time the show felt like it had real stakes, real consequences, real impact. Cycle 2 didn't just entertain, it exposed.